Hello. Today I will be teaching you how to subtract two-digit numbers. So here, if you look at number 1, we have 34 and 27. So let's review about digits. So here I have, for example, 34. Now, the 3 in 34 would be considered the first digit, and the 4 in 34 will be considered the second digit. So when I say two digits, they really mean by two numbers like this. So 23, 20, 10, any of those. Any number that has two. So again, let's look at 34 and 27. So when we subtract them, like I always like to do, I will stack them on top. I will stack them on top. So 34 minus 27. And then I always do this. I will split it in half. And here we have 4 and 7. But before we subtract, we have to do something. Well, because 4 is a less number and 7 is a greater number, and for a less number is on top of a greater number, we have to do something. Whenever a less number is on top of a greater number, then we have to, we can't just subtract, we have to do something. Like I always keep saying. So what we do is, for the first number, we will always add 10. Okay? That's our rule. We are always going to add 10. So 10 plus 4 equals 14. And we have one more thing to do now. After we add the 10, we go over here, and we are always going to subtract it by 1. Okay, so 3 minus 1 is 2. And now that we are completely done now, we can subtract straight down. Okay, so here we have 14 minus 7. 14 minus 7 equals 7. Now we have 2 and a 2. 2 minus 2 equals a 0. Okay, now if you look down here, the only number we have is 7. So 34 minus 27 equals 7. Okay, let's go down to number 9. Number 9, we have 61 minus 54. Okay, so like I always do, let's stack them on top of each other. So 61 minus 54. And I always split them in half. Okay, so here we have, again, 1 and a 4. So we have, again, a less number on top of a greater number. Remember what I said? If we have a less number on top of a greater number, we have to do something. We can't just subtract, right? So the thing that we have to do is, we're going to look over here, and we are going to add it by 10. We are always going to add it by 10. And so, if we add it, 10 plus 1 is 11. So that 10 is 11. Now we're not done. We still have here. So we're now going to go to here, to 6. And we are always going to add it by, we are always going to subtract it by 1. So 6 minus 1 is 5. And now we're done. But don't you look, don't you see? In number 1, we also added 10 and subtracted 1. Number 9, we also added 10 and subtracted 1. So that tells us that whenever we have a less number on top of a greater number, we will always add 10 and then subtract 1. Okay, so now that we're done setting up our um, problem, we can now subtract straight down. So we have 11 minus 4. 11 minus 4 equals 7. And 5 minus 5 equals 0. And here, if you look down, the only answer we have is 7. So that tells us that 61 minus 54 equals 7. Okay, let's look down here. I want to look at number 1. So number 1, so here it says write greater than, less to, or equal to make a true sentence. So here, if you look at number 1, first we have to add 8 plus 6. Now 8 plus 6, what's 8 plus 6? Yes, 8 plus 6 equals 14. Now if we look at 14 and the 14 here, is 14 here greater than 14 here? Or is 14 here less than 14 here? Well, if we look, 14 over here, 14 over here is equal to the 14 here. So we are going to write equals to. If you look at number 2, we have to solve these first. So 7 minus 7 equals 0. 1 minus 0 equals 1. If you look here, is 0 greater than 1? No. Whoops. 0 is not greater than 1. Is 0 equal to 1? No. Is 0 less than 1? Yes. So we're going to write less than. I'm sorry. That's wrong. Less than. Now, if you're confused about the arrows, just think of it as like this. Because you see, Pac-Man loves to eat a lot of food. He doesn't like the food with less amounts. He wants to eat a food that has more amounts, right? So because 1 is greater than 0 and 1 has more food than 0, Pac-Man wants to eat that one. So the arrow is going to face this way. And see, I'm going to draw Pac-Man. So Pac-Man wants to eat 1. Let's look at number 3. We have 99 and 9. Let me ask you, is 99 less than 9? No. Is 99 equal to 9? No. Is 99 greater than 9? Yes. And because Pac-Man wants to eat more food, we're going to draw an arrow like that. And Pac-Man, see? Pac-Man wants to gobble it up. Okay. So this lesson was greater than, less than, or equal to. I hope you understood this new lesson. If you're still confused, that's okay, because with more practice on this, you will get better. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Have a nice day.